Welcome back to the long, dark, working lunch of the soul.
That was a good one.
Sometimes I have good ones. Where are we at right now?
Blue blood territory.
Blue blood territory.
Hey there, tall, red, and mysterious. Ladies, please come in. Don't be shy. Let me guide you to a booth.
Local host. Oh, that's why she was looking at post clubs.
Should we take a seat for now?
With taste as expensive as yours. If you get near a menu, these people will drain my checking account on an overpriced champagne faster than I can blink.
Oh, champagne!
As much as you'd like.
This is going to derail fast if I don't find a way to shut it down. A surefire way to get exactly the right kind of attention and douse their salesmanship in one go. I'll need to go with that.
Hey, please don't frown. A smile would suit your pretty face much.
I need to speak with your manager.
What happened? They're all walking away.
Hey, mama. Yeah. Uh-huh. There's some kind of...
Do Blue Bloods run host clubs? Is that what?
Apparently.
Honestly, weak that the Yakuza guys got... The Yakuza thugs got background sprites and the hosts didn't. Weak sauce right there.
Huh. I wanted a champagne.
I also like that she's like, no, they'll drain my account as soon as they see me. I'm powerless to their charms and wiles.
Accountant or whatever here to talk to you.
Close enough. The voice on the other end of his earpiece grumbles a response. A cranky one, judging by his reaction.
Mama will be out in a second. You're expected to buy something in the meantime.
You got tap water?
You don't want to drink the tap water in this district.
Soda water?
It's all overpriced, lady. Might as well get something you'll enjoy.
I thought my first visit to a host club would be more celebratory than this.
How much thought have you given to the subject? Also, local host.
Do you think they're being literal when they said you were expected to make a purchase?
Probably. Doesn't mean I'll oblige them. It's not like spending money here will make them less likely to cooperate.
I would offer some suggestions based on customer reviews and price points, but for some reason I don't see prices listed on any of the items on their menu. Was a mistake made when formatting the data?
I really hate this place. What do we want? You know what? What the hell? Hey, pomme d'orignon, pour out a tower for all I care. Suddenly, as if I uttered a magic phrase, or a sleeper cell kill switch, all the eyes of the staff around the room dart to me. With a jolt of energy, the bartender jumps up on to ring a bell above the counter. Pomme de tower. The staff begin an unsettlingly chipper chant. Tower, tower, tower. I'm not sure Sarah's eyes can go any wider. Let's take a commemorative photo, madam. Where would you like to sit? Who is the smallest spender in here? What? Well, I mean, we don't really keep track of that, sort of. His eyes wandered, losing light all the while until they settled into a glassy-eyed, pitying stare at an overworked-looking young man at a small table. Adjusting his tie while the girl next to him makes no effort to hide her boredom. Send it over to him, king for a day. With the same nervous smile he'd used to shake hands with a suicide bomber, the bartender redirects the oncoming parade towards my designated lucky loser. He looks terrified. Money well spent.
You just gave the tower away?
I've got shit to do. I can't drink all that.
It could have perhaps helped. But even so, after you paid all that money just to pass it along to some stranger. Are you some kind of saint?
Oh, I'm not paying for that. Makoto's getting this bill.
Your client?
File it under investigative expenses.
That is not exactly inaccurate, but...
What's he gonna do, kill me?
Given his position in the house and his age, would it be more likely that he'd have you killed? Have you been to an establishment like this before?
What does that say? Off? Fine. No.
Not even when you were apprenticing?
There may have been certain work parties where attendance was strongly encouraged. But I'd never set foot within a kilometer of a place like this otherwise.
Suppose if you have a hard spending limit, there's only so much you can enjoy.
And it's not a matter of cost. It's a matter of taste.
Surely everyone enjoys being paid attention, no? It's flattering.
Not everyone takes to being complimented. I mean, that fits with what she's done this entire chapter, right?
I see. So you respond more to being challenged.
Well, what do you think?
Perhaps not.
Bad enough that I'm walking into the lion's den here. Stepping even further into blue blood territory to defend an Ikaria assassin. Do I really have to wait for the shoe to drop in a place this sleazy, too?
Are you perhaps not enjoying yourself, Adonai?
You're getting better at picking up on that.
You are frowning quite openly. Are we in danger of getting arrested here?
There's nothing illegal about a host club. You want to read the terms?
Yeah. Host club. A host or hostess club is a type of nightclub in which the staff cater to clientele with attention, conversation, company, and flirtatious behavior. The talent, hosts or hostesses, make most of their wages through what is essentially a commission on the sale of drinks, food, or other services by the club. While host clubs and their associated culture were internationally fairly niche during the 20th century and saw a large decline in popularity for the first half of the 21st century, they have undergone somewhat of a renaissance in the last 20 to 30 years. Shifting cultural norms about parasociality, online dating, and work-life harmony may have contributed to this phenomenon. Some sociologists have observed that host clubs have developed a new reputation as a kind of social gym, where young adults can exercise their social skills in a low-risk environment. Others argue that increases in average work hours have pushed single individuals away from traditional drinking culture and long-term dating. And for employees of multinational corporations who maintain running discrete tabs at select establishments, attendance may be seen as advisable or even a mandatory step in acquiring and maintaining relationships with their superiors. Despite the global trend of the decriminalization of sex work, host clubs have remained a distinct industry. That said, it is hardly uncommon for staff at one establishment or the other to switch sides. Users also frequently searched for how to build confidence, how to know if the hostess really likes you, courtesan versus hostess, who would win?
Who would win?
So are you just uncomfortable then?
Unamused is more like it. What kind of light reading gets tossed around a club like this? Probably something along the lines of, I spent every night at a host club for 1 year. Here's what the staff taught me about emotional workloads in corporate settings. Oh wait, this actually looks somewhat interesting.
Fungus stymies bamboo, stokes unrest. Less than ideal rainfall patterns, met with greater than usual saltwater flooding, had already left many of the tropically centered macro farms that produce most of the world's bamboos struggling to meet demand. Now, with increasingly widespread reports of fungal infections, tensions are beginning to rise in the region as its large migrant worker population is faced with the possibility of one of the worst quarters on record. Bamboo is a highly versatile crop, cultivated successfully for thousands of years and on all 7 continents, if one counts the agricultural science labs on the Antarctic Peninsula. But in recent decades, advances in agricultural genetics and greater restrictions on the lumber industry's woodcutting activity have led to bamboo becoming a premier organic manufacturing and construction material for much of the world, especially in impoverished regions that often lack the machinery required to process advanced synthetic equivalents. The hardy plant can grow in a wide variety of environments and humidity levels, and has even been considered an aggressive invasive species at times. But modern genetically modified monocultures are tailored to grow specifically in a small number of tropic and subtropic biomes, intended to provide a stable cash crop for regions that have historically struggled to farm soy, sugar, or wheat. But it's a delicate balancing act between tuning a cultivar to a target environment and rendering it unviable in the wild. And years like this one can put that vulnerability on full display. The fungus practically chews through the groves. You can see it growing with the naked eye, said one worker, who requested anonymity due to concerns over their citizenship status. The company tells us to just burn it all, but it's too damp for anything to catch fire. Bamboo is hard to burn, so they want us using this incendiary stuff. And they won't pay for us to have masks. Data on the efficiency of burn pits in combating the spread of the fungus is limited, but most corporate officials agree that the risk of inhalation among personnel is low and masks are an unnecessary measure. Some of the migrant worker population, however, is arguing that the hesitancy to provide masks is more politically motivated. Plotter's rebellion was decades ago, but the gas mask is still a powerful symbol even today. Back then, workers went on strike because the conditions growing mushrooms in the fungal plots were so unbearable. Now, this fungus is cutting into profits again. You've got a lot of workers dependent on the industry, a lot of young people who could easily be out of work. I'd be surprised if they weren't getting nervous. It is true that the region is home to a disproportionately young population, as many international trade schools have flocked to tropical climates in an attempt to attract students with promises of low cost of living and vacation-like idyllic conditions. And though education lies firmly in the realm of corporate authority, government officials are also keenly aware of the risks and challenges associated with such a large student population. Ramsey syndrome remains a serious concern among... We're having difficulty authenticating your identity. Can you provide some basic info so we can get this webpage displaying properly for you?
Ramsey syndrome? Is that a real thing?
Never heard of it.
Ramsey Hunt syndrome? The Mayo Clinic. Ramsey Hunt syndrome, also called herpes zoster oticus, is caused when the varicella zoster virus affects certain nerves of the face. Okay, that is a real thing. Not the remedying material I expected to find here. Hold on while I undo that little red dot there. But judging from the article, the Megs are getting concerned about...
growing unrest.
The fungus is a problem, sure, but they've engineered their crops around problems like it 100 times before. Easier to update the monoculture genetics than your entire... I've had a day, okay? Easier to update the monoculture genetics than your entire global economic model. The Megs are probably more concerned about all the young people getting agitated about their job security. The warmer the waters, the bigger the storms they brew.
Mama on deck.
The big cheese.
What exactly are you expecting?
With a title like Mama, I'm expecting her to come out with 2 large milky balls. Expect a stern but fair, nurturing figure who...
What the hell do you want?
Is that the treatment one should expect at the establishment after purchasing a champagne tower?
That was you.
Damn right it was.
Well, shit, you clearly need information a lot more than I thought. The Acadia must be giving you the mushroom treatment. Keep them in the dark.
And feed them shit. Yes, I've heard all the lawyer jokes. Now, can we talk or should I get on the phone and claim that my credit card's been stolen?
You bought a champagne tower. We can talk all goddamn night if you want.
Introductions then. I am...
Morgan Esquire, criminal defense attorney representing Sosuke Acadia.
Wow, they know... Well, do they know her? Or do they know her because she was at the trial?
With a glowing green toaster as your +1.
Couldn't have put it better myself, miss.
Kim Hana, small business owner.
Hana Mama Kim. AP+. Small occupation, small business owner, hand quotes. Likes persimmon, handbags, joint cracking. Dislikes part-timers, binge watchers, ad vandalism. Really? You dislike ad vandalism, but you're out here calling Sarah a toaster. Hidden talent can slice an onion paper thin in 11 seconds. Relaxes by shooting clay pigeons. Motto, promote from within. And one of the more influential members of the Blue Blood Old Guard, I take it.
The Old Guard are the only blue bloods that have any influence at all. First gens and young bloods should count themselves lucky to be middle management.
Should you really be calling them young bloods?
Oh, now the neon robot is gonna preach to us all about political correctness.
Really, madam?
I know PC. My gen invented PC. We got PC coming out of our ears. So I mean it when I say young blood is a term of endearment.
Well, then I won't hesitate to use it.
To their face? Better not. They'd knock your teeth out.
How about a trade, Miss Kim?
Mrs., you're talking to a widow. One who doesn't need anything from you, not the best position to start bargaining from.
We're trading information. If you think I can't give you anything, you're not thinking very hard.
Oh yeah? What do you think you've got?
Something I can tell her that she doesn't already know. Who was Bresson?
The shooter at court?
Wouldn't she know that already?
Probably.
Creek's killer. She assumes who that is. And she assumes that they... Are we really going to say we know who the Little Lord is? Oh, that's true. Even if I'm right, I'd only be telling you that Chopin is dead and of no use to her. There's also the chance she has no idea that the Little Lord is even real, in which case I'd be showing way more of my hand than I'd like. She'd probably be interested in the real answer, but it's not one I'm willing to give. At the moment, I don't even have that great of a patsy to put forward. Really? This? I could tell you what happened. Oh, right, because there was a media blackout.
There was a media blackout.
Right.
I forgot about the
that.
media blackout
I like how
already.
the first one we immediately... I can tell you what happened at the courthouse today.
If something worth knowing had happened, it'd be in the news by now.
There is currently a blackout on media coverage of today's events.
There are always leaks.
Finding one will take time. I can give you a first-hand account right now.
Let's hear it.
Un instant.
Bresson. What a goddamn idiot. Completely useless.
He did manage to infiltrate a courtroom full of police officers, even knowing he wouldn't make it out alive.
And he still failed to hit the easiest shot of his life. But Bresson's just an incompetent addict. The useless idiot is the one who sent him there.
Not you, I take it.
Old Guard sounds like it moves slow and wise, but we've got our fair share of hot-headed dumbasses, too.
Makes sense. Impatient, hot-headed dumbasses.
Time is money.
My turn to ask a question, then. Money. Is that why you've been going after Makoto? Trying to drum up a king's ransom because you can't go to war without a war chest?
Who says we're at war? Who says we're in any rush? Our plans are measured in decades, you little shit.
No, time isn't on your side right now. Right now, more than anything, you need money.
Says who? You?
Says the headlines. Time's running out before you miss the bus on... Nirvana, right?
Yeah,
Because Nirvana's gonna get legalized soon.
Yeah.
Nirvana. Everyone in the capital knows it'll be legalized before the end of the year.
Bah, party drug. Dumb money.
Yes, dumb money. The best kind of money there is. And you could rake it in by the truckload. If you had the starting capital to build a dispensary network beforehand. As things stand, the gray wave is going to roll your hard work up in a ball and hand it off gently to the Megs and the Icaria. You have been losing this game to them for 3 decades straight. But I can see you still haven't gotten used to it.
Course not. Who the hell just roll over for those upstart bootlicking? That goddamn fox, smirking behind his perfumed incenses and painted screens and sheets of gold leaf.
She talking about, the very dramatic guy we saw?
The who?
The guy we saw leaving Makoto's...
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Should have cut out his eyes when I had the chance.
I am acquainted with the hound. Who's the fox?
Should we conduct a survey of all the IFG members' back tattoos?
The fox, the kitsune, goddamn Daisuke Ikaria, of course.
Yep, it's Daisuke. The family's patriarch. Haven't had the chance to meet him in person.
Ha. Knew there had to be a reason an Ikaria lawyer didn't already stink of cigar smoke.
Hadanai does smoke, despite my repeated warnings about the health hazards. Have you had your olfactory checkup lately? Loss of smell can be the first sign of...
I don't stink. That's the takeaway. Now admit it. You want to capture Makoto Ikaria so you can afford to ride Nirvana to legitimacy.
I don't want to capture Makoto Ikaria. You know our history.
In brief.
So what part of that summary made you think that if I had the chance to end the Ikarian line, I wouldn't take it immediately?
Are you speaking for yourself or for the whole Old Guard?
Nah, my turn to ask.
Really? I just asked a question. You spent the whole time denying it.
Is the Hound gonna make it?
Are you asking about my legal defense strategy?
His injuries. Any chance he's gonna keel over from an infection after Creek's pod worked him over? Did Bresson somehow manage to nick him?
He is still recovering from the injuries he sustained when captured, but he was not harmed during the incident in the courtroom today.
Yeah, Bresson didn't even manage a scratch.
Not a scratch, huh? Did he even get a shot off?
A detective on the scene responded before he could.
A detective?
Yes, why?
Not wasting a question on him, of all people.
Speaking of which, the bottle spun back around. Are the Blue Bloods working with the Chopin family to profit off of Proposition 492?
Ha! You missed that one. Try another.
What do you mean?
You think Mr. and Mr. Chopin are working hand in hand with us for a little cross-class embezzling? Those rich pricks wouldn't piss on us if we were on fire, and the feeling's mutual.
They're backing Proposition 492. If you can buy the land they need before the city knows that it needs it.
The Chopin family aren't your collaborators. They are your marks.
Bingo, kid gets a prize.
Or they were. The plan is worthless now. That whole courtroom heard me explain how Creek had red ink documents on Prop 492. Whatever blueprints, whatever land the city had in mind, they'll change all of it.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Don't blame me. Your plan was always fragile. It was destined to collapse the moment that anyone with more pull than a ticketing officer heard that Blue Bloods had eyes on the real estate. Meaning the Blue Bloods would kill to keep those documents from circulating.
Yeah, well, that's just how it goes for Plan Bs.
Plan B.
Now answer me this. What did you see on those red ink docs that tipped our hand about Prop 492?
Well, it was mentioned in abbreviation, if not in name, P492. Pretty big giveaway.
You must have had more to go on than that. Names, diagrams.
I saw Councilman Long's name on there.
Huh. Long, that sloppy bastard.
Wait, you? You didn't know what was on those papers, not exactly. You didn't know where Prop 492 leaked from.
What are you saying? It leaked from that brat Creek, obviously.
Red ink means it was printed off from somewhere you trust, in a place run by people you trusted. And it doesn't sound like you trusted Creek.
Are these your questions? Because they're terrible and pointless. Blondie's already dead.
So Chopin wasn't in on the plan. What possibilities are left then? Might as well try asking while I have the chance. My client overheard something interesting during his captivity. Talk of the Blue Bloods bringing in a huntsman.
Fake. And you don't even know what that means. Your client heard wrong and you're a fool for believing him without any proof.
Sorry, I guess he misheard. He must have also misheard that you brought a no mask into the city.
Did Sosuke mention that?
It's called a bluff, Sarah. Yeah, he must have been delirious. After all, if there had been a no mask at the crime scene, it would have turned up during the police investigation.
Huntsman, ridiculous. Maybe he's real, maybe he's fake, maybe he's already behind you. Phantoms like that get their power from uncertainty. If I answered your question at all, that'd be your answer.
Schrodinger's box is already open, though. And the mask isn't there. Oh, right, no, hold on. Schrodinger's box is already open, though. And the mask isn't there anymore. If it's not in the hands of the huntsman, then who has it?
A dead man who just doesn't know it yet. Final round.
What if we still want to ask?
Our house, my rules. Who hired you?
Why would she spend her final question on that? I guess we are allowed to say we were hired by House, because she wants to know what the angle is here, right?
Yep.
Like whose interests we're actually serving. I think we just go
Sure.
You already know the answer. I was hired by House Ikaria.
Uh-huh. You, some no-name nobody with no connection to any of the houses. They hired you to defend their hound. Either you're dumber than you look, or just less curious than a lobotomite, but either way, you really don't know the answer, do you?
No, I don't, which I can freely admit. So why does having it pointed out to me feel like such a defeat? Come to think of it, I have one last question myself before the background gets its color back.
That ain't the deal.
Then it could be rhetorical. What are you going to do? You lost all of your heirs during the fall of the leaves.
Deny?
You are reviled by the International Blue Bloods for locking your treasure behind GFA you cannot crack. Now all of the old guard need transplants and transfusions from first and second gens just to stay alive, and they won't be glad to keep that up forever. Eventually you, all of you, will die. Will you rest in peace, knowing everything that you ever managed to build will be laundered at what? 30%?
40%.
35%. Just to end up in the hands of some punks you tutored?
What a nice young girl you are, worrying about your elders. Well, don't worry your pretty little head over dear sweet granny here. 'Cause she's a mean old bitch in a line of work where anyone stupid dies off young. She and hers are gonna be just fine. Don't forget to close your tab before you go.
Did you actually get any useful information out from your rhetorical question, Adonai?
The question irritated her, but it didn't make her despair. I may have misread this. The old guard have a way forward.
Proposition 492 is no longer an option.
Leaving them with Plan A.
The little lord, but Tariq Chopin is dead.
Yeah. He is. What if he's not? Body doubles. Masked pretenders.
How dare they? After all they put him through down there in that festering hole of a city district to try and kill Sosuke in the courtroom of all places. The nerve of those blue blood scum.
If we can just wait for him to stop, we'll be standing here. Oh, if we just wait for him to stop, we will be standing here until morning.
So should we speak up?
I don't know. I'm terrible with children. Listen, just keep nodding, and if he calms down enough to ask a non-rhetorical question, get my attention.
What are you gonna do?
Try consulting an expert. What do kids your age like?
Which one of us?
I think you were.
Not my birthday. B-day.
I'm not asking for you.
And I'm not a kid, so I wouldn't know. If it's for Sarah, I'm not a robot either.
What would someone younger than you like?
IDK? Even one grade below me, their sense of humor is impenetrable. Other day, the school announced they're going to be doing test prep at every grade level, and the top comment, before it got deleted, was a picture of a fish with boots. And the caption was, battering me and frying me in oil for 4 minutes on each side.
It's not that impenetrable. It's a very basic non sequitur. Not everything is a non sequitur, Morgan.
I think that's a great meme. How's this for non sequitur? Go ask someone else.
All you did there was get back on topic.
Why are you even asking?
I've been hired by a youth, and I need to interrupt their temper tantrum.
Well, what do you want me to do from here? Hack them some fork knife bucks?
What is that? Would that work?
Also, what do you mean a youth hired you? Oh, so they must be like rich?
Yes.
I'm like the worst to ask for advice then. What do I know about rich kids?
Your academy is full of them.
Why do you think I do as much of my schoolwork as possible from my dorm?
Don't you at least have a roommate?
Nope. Never got assigned one. Guess there was some kind of unavoidable computer error on their end.
This is hopeless.
You're usually good at gift giving and shit. Buttering up judges, bribing court officials, slipping coins into viziers' purses.
You have a very antiquated view of what my work entails. Medieval, in fact.
I heard he passed. Did you know him?
That's funny as shit, though. Whatever photo that is failed to send.
God damn it. I mean,
I like Morgan lying to get them.
what would you do if they were a rich adult? Flatter them or whatever.
Rich adults are used to people wanting their money. Flattery puts them on guard.
So what's the approach?
You approach them as though you already work for them. Pretend you're a butler. Acting on wordless commands they've given without an original thought in your head. They aren't suspicious of anyone they feel like they already own.
That mostly makes sense. So do that. They probably got more in common with a rich adult than kids their own age. Or, anyone else with a soul. Unless there's some reason you can't do your iconic butler technique here.
Because I don't want to act subservient to a child.
Sosuke did strain himself slightly when he tried to tackle me to the ground, but that was the extent of it.
Oh yeah, Sosuke tried to protect Sarah?
Yeah.
Yes, as my ad says, no one was hurt. Well, the attacker was part of an officer-involved shooting, but no one else was hurt.
Oh, well then perhaps we should just forgive all and make peace. Those fools will regret their actions. The anger of the house, once roused, is not easily satisfied.
Shit, I thought there was a lull, but he's ready to start back up again.
As Sun Tzu says.
If your opponent is of a choleric temper, seek to irritate him.
Well, yes, but...
Please calm yourself, Makoto of House Ikaria. We need to speak with you.
Sarah just nailing it?
Got it in one.
About what?
About Sosuke.
You think he's done something to deserve this?
That is not what I...
There's nothing Sosuke could have done to justify what the Blue Bloods have put him through.
I assumed as much, but... Makoto has no idea what the Hound of Ikaria was doing up until a year ago, does he?
These questions are foolish. I'll not waste my time.
A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer.
Quote the Bhagavad Gita all you want, Robot Girl. It is not impressive for a machine to...
Bruce Lee said that.
Well, he was probably paraphrasing at the time.
Will you help us or not, Makoto?
Please.
If it's for Sosuke...
Oh, this is gonna be Dice.
It's gonna be Daisuke?
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Sure.
Enough. Electric blue irises flash a deadly glare. The room's shadow seemed to extend in his presence, curling and deepening like ink dropped into water. That is a gangster.
Chairman. All of you, show some respect now.
He says it out of practice, without actually looking around the room. One glance would have shown him there was no need to demand respect. Every head was already bowed. This is a man who is used to others not meeting his eyes.
The rest of you get lost.
Their practiced obedience did not betray them. They all slipped away into the halls of the complex without so much as a creak on the floorboards. And even so, their anxiety was screaming at me like a bad tell, begging to be taken advantage of. His presence here today was not expected.
Now then. Come here, Mako-tan.
Grandpa!
Hey! How are things on the front lines, huh?
Makoto is the heir, so the chairman is his grandfather, of course, but...
My little warlord making his enemies tremble with every time he sets his foot out the door.
I was not expecting the head of a house of nobility to be so, affectionate.
I thought you and Father were still in the capital.
Well, we were. We made a lot of powerful people in that city very frustrated while we were at it.
And made a lot of frustrating people very powerful, I'm sure.
I wish I'd see their dumb faces solemnly nodding when I canceled my meetings. Hey, just to fly home and see my grandson. Ha ha!
Ahem.
Chairman, apologies for the lack of an introduction. This is...
I know exactly who she is. She is our lawyer. Any good?
She is not entirely incompetent,
I would hope you could say more than that.
and she is also somewhat perceptive, Chairman.
Hey. Knows when to keep her mouth shut, clearly. How bad could she be?
Already got the approval of the head of the Ikaria group.
Hey!
Want a vape? It's bubblegum.
Her methods are odd. She came here to ask me about Sosuke for some reason.
Not another word.
Chairman.
Back at the storehouse on the second floor, there's a cask of sake that I won in a drink at Game 5, or it's been like 6 years ago now. Should go and fetch it for your grandfather.
Of course, but...
Old trick of the trade. One sip in anything we tell her becomes inadmissible in court.
I see. Very clever, Chairman.
Makoto is allowed to drink sake?
The hell's wrong with you? Of course he can't drink. The ceremony of it all, damn it.
Understood. I'll go retrieve it right away.
I have one of those layabouts that were in here fetch you a ladder first. Hey, they can earn their keep for once. Ugh. Put on a suit and a pair of glasses and you think you just stand there for the rest of your career, you lazy. Read your damn emails if you got nothing better to do.
Should we be seated a certain way for...
There is no cask of sake.
Oh. But then the strategy of becoming intoxicated in order to avoid...
I made that up. Hey, lawyer, any truth to what I said?
No need for tricks like that. Attorney-client privilege already binds my hands. I'm working for House Ikaria right now, Sarah. I mean, hell, Makoto could confess to me that he's a mass murderer, and I would not be able to tell a soul.
So then why did you send Makoto away, Mr. Chairman, sir?
I want to walk in the gardens.
Are we supposed to follow him?
He left that part unsaid.
How can you tell?
Hey, quick strategy meeting. You know what a butler is, right?
Time for iconic butler technique.
I'm glad you have such an appreciation for attorney-client privilege, sir. Makes these conversations go much smoother.
But if you trust privilege so much, why don't you trust your grandson to be here?
Because he clearly dotes on his grandson, and he doesn't want him to be exposed to that before he has to be.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself, Copper. That boy's the future of this family. If I didn't trust him, there'd be no point in any of this. Everything I've built. Dynasties aren't dynasties unless you manage to actually pass them down.
What you have built in the last 30 years is undeniably impressive. It must have required astonishing brutality.
Progress is brutality. And history is unkind to the gentle.
Is that why you orchestrated the fall of the leaves? To get your name in the history books?
Orchestrated, so grand. So full of it. We knocked on their doors, and when we opened, they shot them. Walked up to them on the street and split their stomachs wide. Pulled up beside them and let loose full auto on their limos. Not anything as complicated as orchestrated. I executed.
Daisuke Ikaria. Occupation, CEO, Ikaria Financial Group. Likes bodybuilding, archery, bonsai. Dislikes
Phones at the goddamn dinner table.
undefeated at enduring, enjoying spicy food. Sarah tried to add enduring.
Enjoying?
Smells like cedar, tobacco, iron, and dried blood. Handshake, vice-like.
And my uncle named me his successor for it.
Blue Bloods weren't even able to put up a fight?
They were worried about handshake events and social media perception. Thought their friends in high places would be there when they needed them. Thought they had already won.
So how did you get away with it?
Good timing. No one notices a leaky faucet in a downpour.
This was right before the Red Decade got underway.
Once the borders started locking up, there was no chance of, reinforcements.
Right, because the Blue Bloods, as we know, are international. Right, they're shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We never saw it coming. We didn't know there was a bubble. We didn't think things would get that bad. That's what they always say. The losers. The scapegoats paraded in front of courts and cameras to meekly reassure the national audience that, no, you couldn't have done anything. You did everything right, so did we. We're all victims of uncontrollable market forces here. Stale bread for a piss-poor circus. With a pity party instead of proper fucking gladiators. I saw the signs, but more importantly, I did not ignore them. Droughts from heaven, no grain in the storehouses. Only room for one family of thieves in this city, and I made sure that it was mine. Last call, all aboard.
And everything you've built since, Renogen, Aurea Holdings, the legitimate half you're so proud of.
That was the easy part, actually. Reprivatizing an industry is a tricky business. I can break up a state-controlled monopoly into a healthy, diverse, and competitive private marketplace.
How?
I don't know. I'll let you know if they ever pull it off. The shit show they did go with was easily gamed. Sprinkle some cash in the right bureaucrats' pockets, and we were able to snap up entire economies. Wholesale.
We being the Neobility.
That's the term you prefer.
Adonai, why is he confessing?
He's not confessing, Sarah. This is bragging. Mr. Akaria, I'm not looking to take up too much of your time, but perhaps you could help me understand something. The inciting incident, as they say.
In screenwriting.
They say it elsewhere, too, probably. Doing different voices. 4 different voices in this scene is hard. I'm gonna call it 3.5. A year ago, you extended an olive branch to the Blue Bloods over Nirvana. Was it genuine?
My curiosity was genuine.
But not your financing. Is that why it fell apart? Why Makoto was attacked?
Fell apart because those first gens and those young bloods and theirs are hot-headed idiots who can't follow orders. But I expected as much, so I ordered my hound to be present on standby.
But he didn't assassinate anyone that day, did he?
No, he did not.
Instead, Sosuke stepped in front of a blade that was headed for Makoto. And he's been guarding the boy with his life ever since.
Was that your order as well?
My order, yes. Not my idea. But I'm the patriarch, not a dictator. If my sweet siblings and darling nieces and nephews make an earnest request, who am I to refuse?
You had to be pressured into letting Sosuke guard Makoto? Aren't you concerned about his safety?
Of course I was. I just know the best place for the queen is on the attack, not hopping around the king's sides blocking checks.
Hey, chess metaphor, help me out.
NEPs can sacrifice themselves, but there's only one queen, and she has by far the most mobility. It's better to keep her out in the open, ideally near the center of the field, where she can attack freely, at least assuming you subscribe to.
Okay, I got it.
I don't know, at least let me finish.
But here's the question. Why have the Blue Bloods kept trying to capture Makoto for over a year now? Because of some hot-tempered idiots.
What's your answer? Why do you think they want to capture our little Makoto?
We decided we don't like revenge.
Yep. No reason isn't very good either. So it's either his blood or the ransom. We've had 2 theories there. One was his blood for the purpose of establish a marriage alliance between the 2 families. The other was the ransom in terms of get the money and use that to get in on Nirvana manufacturing before legalization.
Yep.
I don't know which of those I buy.
I'm gonna say his blood. If they were literally out for Makoto's blood, they'd want a steady supply. Mirai suggested they tried for an arranged marriage down the line, but Kim didn't see interest in anything of the sort.
Interesting. So it is the ransom then?
If they took Makoto captive, they could extort the Ikaria for a king's ransom. Once. After that, the Ikari would make them pay in every other way. And even if the price tag was big enough to ease all the Blue Bloods' woes, the resulting gang war would drain the coffers all the same. People can easily kill for money, but for them to take Makoto hostage...
Wait. Mama did say that she would end the Ikaria bloodline if she had her hands on him, so maybe it really is revenge. Maybe it just is that.
Isn't that the first thing I guessed?
Yeah.
The Blue Bloods aren't lacking in motives for revenge. A bloody culling followed by 3 decades of humiliation is more than enough. But the most fitting revenge would involve them killing Makoto, not taking him captive. And plus, she's the old guard. This was the young guard, the young bloods that were trying to capture him.
That's true.
And while I can imagine plenty of ways to extract revenge from a living subject, gangs have to maintain a balance between being feared and being tolerated. The Blue Bloods proudly tortured a child to death and be run out of the lower wards by their own constituents.
Interesting.
Well,
They wouldn't want to capture Makoto. They don't. A certain mama said as much to my face. They'd much rather kill your soul heir than capture him.
that's what I would do if they had any heirs left.
But then why keep attacking Makoto if not to capture or kill him?
Oh, are they actually going after Sosuke? Is Sosuke the little lord?
Is Sosuke the little? Oh, wow. That would be it.
Because he is
He's
like...
adopted.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a good twist. Hold on. I've got so many voices on this one. I need to take a sip of my Dr. Pepper. I will accept a sponsorship for this channel only for Dr. Pepper.
I see.
I will read whatever ad reads you send me, Dr. Pepper, if you also send me money.
I won't.
Well, unfortunately for you, I legitimately like Dr. Pepper. Their goal has never been Makoto. It's just that every time they've gone after their goal, Makoto has been there.
You mean?
Put another way, the purpose of an operation is what the operation accomplishes. They've been trying to capture Sosuke for over a year. And the other day, they finally succeeded.
You think those idiot punks wanted to take my hound alive?
I don't think I know, because that is literally what they did. They captured Sosuke, brought him down to the lower wards.
Torture them. Idiots, if they don't talk after the third, they'll never talk at all.
The third what? The third what?
It wasn't just any Blue Bloods that tortured him, it was a pod led by a young blood man named Creek.
Young, old, bound by blood or water, they're all the same scum.
As you say. But I've learned that there are some pretty big ideological rifts among that scum. The young bloods captured him, no doubt on Old Guard orders, but just an hour ago an Old Guard was asking after Sosuke's health. They didn't want him harmed.
A generous interpretation.
Oh, I didn't understand. I thought she was asking about his health because she wanted him dead and was like, oh, any chance he's still going to die from this stuff? I hope he does. It's the opposite.
They think he's the little
They
lord.
want him alive, and they are pissed about the injuries. Bresson wasn't supposed to try and kill
They
him.
weren't supposed to hit the head.
They weren't supposed to hit the head. Bresson wasn't supposed to do this assassination. The Youngbloods weren't supposed to torture him when they captured him. They were supposed to kidnap him, but things went off the rails. This hasn't been the plan from the moments that he got captured onward. Things were off the rails.
Oh, that's so good,
Okay.
though. That's so good.
A generous interpretation.
I'm guessing the Youngbloods knew that, but they tortured him anyway. Probably because they wanted to know why they've been repeatedly ordered to capture him.
Out with it. Why would they want my hound?
What the Blue Bloods want, ultimately, is simple. So simple that my android can answer this one.
I can?
What do the Blue Bloods need right now, more than anything? God damn it! Okay, if you don't know what it is, then it doesn't.
A lot of money right now.
A lot of money. Without which, They can't invest in legalized nirvana.
Such a shame that, but we'll be happy to pick up where they left off.
So at a time when they need money, they're throwing their young bloods at capturing Sosuke. Ergo, capturing Sosuke must open a path for them to get their hands on lots of cash.
Oh my. Look away for a few days and suddenly my hound has skyrocketed in value. Who do I have to thank? Who raised the price on his head to such a degree?
What about Sosuke makes him so valuable?
His blood.
Who raised the price on Sosuke's head? Why, you did. 30 years ago, you made him irreplaceable when you killed everyone else who shares a drop of his blood.
Sosuke is the little lord?
Last descendant of the Blue Bloods' ruling families, and the only person on Earth who can get them back their fortunes.
Hell of a shot in the dark.
Are you gonna deny it? Sarah, when did the attacks supposedly on Makoto begin?
About a year ago.
What else happened about a year ago?
The meeting between the Blue Bloods and the Ikaria that fell into chaos.
Makoto made it out without a scratch, but only because Sosuke stepped in front of a blade for him. And they got his blood.
His blood.
I can assume that Sosuke's an impressive martial artist.
With very well-defined pectorals and collarbones.
Keep it in your pants, Sarah.
I don't know what that means.
But even he must have left blood on the floor that day.
Yeah, he bled that day. Sounds as if he bled blue. Tell me the old guard could just smell the resemblance.
They didn't need intuition or guesswork. Their private organization security. Their private security organization, Cyanus, is in the business of securing crime scenes, cleaning them up, and performing paternity tests. Could have been a whim. Could have been they were hoping to match him to a DNA left at other hound attacks. Who knows? But I would pay good money to have been a fly on the wall when they saw the results.
His reaction to this information is not very strong.
That is to be expected. I've just told him a bunch of information he already knew.
He already knew Sosuke was the little lord?
That chess metaphor you used a minute ago might have sounded like solid reasoning if I'd actually played. Unfortunately for you, I find the game boring. So it struck me as very odd that a grandfather like you, equal parts doting and calculating, would ever place his heir's safety below concerns such as vague as optimal play. You didn't object to Sosuke guarding Makoto because you wanted to keep your hound. You just couldn't convince the rest of the house it was a bad idea without revealing who Sosuke really is.
If he knew Sosuke was the real target and would keep getting attacked, then having him guard Makoto would actually be putting Makoto in danger.
You know, Bonsai?
Oh my god.
They look like little miniature trees, but they ain't. They're shrubs. You condition it to look like a miniature tree by pruning it daily.
Oh my god, the voices in this scene are getting to me. Hold on. It's been a long day here, okay?
Yep.
I know we're only 50 minutes into this episode, but goddamn. If I had known he was about to monologue for like 20 minutes straight, I would have picked something with a little bit less hoarseness to it.
By pruning it daily until it stops trying to grow into what it's meant to be. And instead lives as what you want it to be. Took the Blue Bloods 30 years to figure out my scheme, and you solved it in, what, 48 hours? You deserve a toast. Now I wish that sake was in the storeroom. Instead, as a reward for your effort, I'll give you a story. 30 years ago, I saw the future. Not statistics or stock prices or consumer confidence indexes. I saw it in people's eyes. Fear and delusion. The sinking feeling that maybe everything really is made of bullshit and sea foam. And then if you ever stop to look down on it, you'll fall through to the bottom. Can't warn people, they won't believe you. They'll strangle you to death for implying their boat might have a leak. Only one thing to do in times like those. Take advantage. For 1 year we pulled back. No resistance. No bargaining. We let the Blue Bloods hungrily swallow what we had left behind. For 1 full year we withdrew and waited and sharpened our knives. 1 year of preparation for 1 weekend in August. Hottest August on record. They left all the goddamn windows open. So it went fast. We'd show up, get to work, leave the mess for whoever cared to see it, and drive up to the next address. I did 22 myself. And even had you asked me back then, I couldn't tell you the first thing about any of them. Except for the 22nd. She had firm eyes, cold eyes. They're not that harsh. Cool eyes like condensation on steel. Yet she was very brave. When I took aim at her, she blinked. Not even upset, just exasperated. Like I had neglected to hold the door for her. My mouth was dry. I felt like I hadn't spoken all day. Cleared my throat to speak up so she could hear me over the babbling of the river she fled to. And the shots in the distance. Wanted to ask her why out here, why not a panic room? Why she was wearing a medical gown and why her thighs were covered in blood. But instead I just asked, why aren't you afraid? She said, I can't be afraid. I'm a mom now. I always liked that answer. So when the pistol stopped ringing in my ears, and I heard a baby wailing in the bushes, I felt inspired. It's tradition in our family, going back centuries. The eldest child guarded from birth by a nursemaid, typically from a branch family. My wife would be due soon, and the Hayakawa clan had been an unfortunate casualty of that month. There was an opening.
Expertly done.
But why let him live?
I deny.
Why? So I could invent the little lord. Build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across.
You started the rumors about a survivor?
As long as those fools still had hope they could reclaim their former glory, they never rallied themselves into chipping away at ours. If they ever did become a real threat again, I'd have the world's most valuable hostage ready to put them back in check.
You turned your enemy's last hope into a meat shield for your family and eventually your personal attack dog.
Well, that was just a bonus. He had come of age and so had Sosuke. He was free to choose any career in the family of business at that point. Became the Hound of his own accord.
I am sure.
That's just
Irrelevant at the end of the day.
what?
Helps me understand why the Blue Bloods have done what they have. But it doesn't put me any closer to proving Sosuke's innocence.
But Sosuke is their little lord. If we tell people, won't that change anything?
Well, for starters, we won't have any of this in court.
Of course not. Can't exactly go telling the court about my exploits 30 years ago. Not when we have that attorney-client privilege.
Did you like all the vowels I threw in that one?
Attorney.
But if you use your influence, if you reach out to the Blue Bloods,
What, we'll work it together, set Sasuke free? I killed everyone he could ever consider family, Copper. Says if the old crook's waiting to die, anyone who shares a drop of his blood is in the ground.
Oh, God damn it.
And most of them were put there by me. I did all of that to sink the Blue Bloods. Now they're finally ready to die. You think I'd throw them a lifeline just to protect one man? Just keep one man out of prison?
He's right. I'm not allowed to disclose anything I've learned here without his express permission.
It would complicate the tax suit against my family terribly if it came out that I lied about a blood relation, now wouldn't it? Sosuke's in the will, after all.
That is the law.
Didn't mean to run you in circles, honestly. I would have preferred you never wasted your time unearthing any of this. That's what I get for relying on him to deliver a message, I suppose.
You are the one who wanted me to keep my investigation limited.
Thought you'd get the picture and hurry up and make a plea deal, negotiate charges down to manslaughter. Get all this squared away so we can focus on fighting this damn audit.
audit? Sosuke's on trial for his life.
Sosuke sworn to protect his family with his life. I am respecting his wishes.
If he does go to prison, the Blue Bloods will die knowing their little lord is alive, but permanently beyond their reach, rotting in a cell for killing their own men in defense of their own worst enemy. I can see why you wouldn't mind that outcome.
Hostage you're never willing to sacrifice isn't a hostage, it's just a babysitting gig. I spared his life 30 years ago, and this does not even cover his interest.
So Sosuke's always just been a tool for you. A hostage you protected until the perfect use came along?
I always wondered, do tools appreciate that part? When they're used properly, what do you think, Copper? Does Sosuke have any complaints?
That doesn't make sense.
Hold on, we're still monologuing. If I was doing this voice for him more often, I could probably find a version of it that didn't, like, rattle as much.
Yep.
But because I just whipped it out, like, I assumed he was going to be here for a few lines and then gone.
Yeah. I didn't think we were getting yet another main character for the arc.
Like, even though Sarah's is raspy, there's a version of it I can do that doesn't, like, tickle my throat or make it hard.
Yeah.
Sosuke is a veteran. He served in the military. Did you grant your hostage permission to go risk his life for his country instead of you?
It's not like he was one of those Minutemen they throw at walls. He was never in a real danger.
What about as your hound? Deadly assassination and infiltration missions. Could have died during any of them. Why let your perfect hostage, your obedient tool, take on such dangerous work? Why give him your last name? Why let him live under your roof, raise him like a son? Why trust him with protecting the life of your son, your grandson? Why are you lying and pretending that you don't?
Pardon my android's outburst, sir. I'll have to adjust your conversational parameters later.
Don't bother. Strip its voice box out entirely. It's gonna speak over a man under his own goddamn roof. Goddamn Copper, next the furniture will be telling me what I feel about my own damn family. Raise him like a son, what bullshit. I have no son. Counselor. Do your damn job and tell Sosuke to do his. Now.
I'm sorry. Wasn't very butler-like behavior just now.
It's fine. It was a good play in that moment. Oh, did you see the little sweet Sarah face for a moment?
But, do you think he meant that?
I don't know.
Do you think he meant it when he said he has no son?
Makoto is Daisuke's grandson. If he has no sons, then the previous heir that Sosuke grew up guarding must have been...
Makoto's mother?
Hey, Mirai. Alright, so is it safe to assume everyone in your family has severe trust issues, or what?
I have no issues with trust myself, but as you've seen, the house has very particular preferences when it comes to information siloing.
Wait, didn't I also guess she was Makoto's mother?
I think so.
Fancy words, you could have just told me who you are.
I told you my name and my position in the house. Is it relevant that I'm married, that I'm a mother? Should I be flattered?
You told me you work for Aurea Holdings. You didn't mention you're at least the second most powerful member of the house.
If I had to tell people that, it wouldn't really be true, now would it?
You could have told me your relation to Sosuke. He guarded you every day of your life until up until you were...
19.
19. He's your goddamn brother. So that message you wanted me to pass along. If you see a way out, take it. You wanted him to try and make a deal with the Blue Bloods to get out from under the house.
If Sosuke merely gave them what they wanted, I'm sure there would be dozens of Blue Bloods ready to confess to the crimes he's accused of.
So you know. You knew. And if you thought he could parse that message, that means Sosuke...
He's not an unintelligent man, merely stubborn about all the most frustrating things.
What do the Blue Bloods want from Sosuke precisely? A blood donation?
One sample will not suffice. They need to be able to validate their accounts whenever called for.
Daily blood donations, then.
I told you the old guard want to become nobility. How did they cement alliances amongst the aristocracy of old?
They want Sosuke to marry? But the old guard are so old.
Sosuke's already got as much blue in his veins as they could ask for. They don't need him to marry into them. They need him to marry into power.
Not the worst thing to have asked of you.
Have you ever been in an arranged marriage? Don't call it a gift.
Oh,
Fair enough, Mirai. You were their heir apparent up until Makoto was born. All that time, Sosuke was your bodyguard.
And driver. And poison taster, though that would most often entail me giving him concoctions to try. But his assignment actually ended when I married.
Subtracting Makoto's age, that'd have to have been over a decade ago. So he joined the military the moment he didn't have you to shadow you anymore. And after he got back, he asked to become the Hound. Guy must really hate guard duty.
He must.
Back up for a moment. Your father didn't want me uncovering Sosuke's parentage. Most likely because he didn't want Sosuke to know the strength of his own bargaining position. But you told me to pass Sosuke a message that he'd only understand if he already knew who his parents were. So how long has he known? And how long have you known that he is known?
And how long have I known that you've known that he's known?
and when did Daisuke cease knowing who knows what?
Boy, am I glad that he's out there and we're in here and we're out there and he's in here and
we're out there.
Around the time Sosuke left for the military.
Hell of a thing to find out at your entrance physical.
It was before he left for the military, actually.
Did that influence his decision?
Sosuke finds out he could be the richest man of the city and then he wants to risk dying in battle? Quite the guilty class consciousness.
I don't know exactly what did or didn't influence his decision to join the military back then. You'd have to ask him. I apologize for any gaps in knowledge you've had to work around. But hopefully you now understand how delicate of a situation you found yourself in.
Yeah, I can smell the explosive and hear the fuses sizzling. I just don't get why no one's gone over to stomp them out.
Sosuke's known this whole time why the Blue Bloods wanted to capture him. Why didn't he just tell us?
Because he's a stubborn man working for a highly secretive family. That part I get. But what I don't get is why he didn't defect the moment he learned the truth. Because he really likes Makoto? He really likes Mirai? He grew up with them.
Who knows? You'll have to work out the rest with him. I've given you all the aid my position allows.
Suppose it was kind of you to share information with us at all. Being in charge of the legitimate side of your family, you don't have any connection with this incident yourself.
Not quite.
No connection with this incident. That's not quite accurate.
Pardon.
You do have a connection to this case, even if you yourself don't realize it. I found a note by the body of the Blue Blood who took Sosuke captive. It read M. Ikaria.
This was one of the men who attacked my son. I'd imagine a note with his name is the least of what you found.
They've never been after your son, not even once. It has always been about capturing Sosuke, and Makoto has just been in the crossfire.
Which Sosuke knows, which explains his reluctance to accept responsibility of guarding Makoto.
So I seriously doubt that this dead man was interested in Makoto Ikaria. Mirai Ikaria, however,
Has no relation to the world that dead man lived in. That was decided the day she was born.
But you do have a relation to Renagen. Makoto mentioned your family was given one seat on the board as a show of respect. I take it that's a deception, too? You may have let Renagen go public, but you've never given up control of it. The rest of the board must be your family's puppets. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what Renagen makes and the prices it charges.
Renagen is best known for the patenting of metformin.
A patent which expired years ago. Plenty of other companies making it now.
And yet the price hasn't gone down.
The invisible hand sets price where it will.
Sure, but this is your invisible hand. A normal corporation couldn't strong-arm its competitors into keeping prices high. That would be operating as a cartel. But the reincarnation of the Icaria drug cartel would know exactly how to go about that without getting caught.
If that were true, it'd be much easier than you make it out to be. The right email signature, the right package delivered to the right address, the right look. These executive types scare easy when the perceived threat is anything bordering on the physical. Of course, it helps that the end result is we all profit immensely. But yes, metformin is very lucrative. What of it?
That dead man, Creek, had a brother with expensive tuition and TAD.
Type 2 abnormal diabetes?
We finally get the term for it.
Yep.
Type 2 abnormal diabetes is a subtype of the autoimmune disorder diabetes, first discovered in the mid-21st century. It is characterized by the body's inability to regulate its own blood glucose levels. While type 1 diabetes is largely due to genetic factors, and type 2 diabetes is acquired by poor diet and exercise, type 2A diabetes is mostly believed to result from childhood exposure to specific artificial sweeteners, and seemingly cannot be reversed. Exactly which artificial sweeteners contribute to the disease is still not well understood, but the disease's increased prevalence in urban food deserts is well documented. The most severe symptoms of TAD can be managed through diet and exercise, but even then, the peripheral neuropathy, deterioration of nerves in the limbs, and overall fatigue can be debilitating. TAD can be treated with a variety of medicines, but the most commonly prescribed is metformin, as it can be ingested as a daily pill rather than injected like many comparable drugs. The cost of TAD medications is a well-known issue, particularly in urban communities with high youth populations. While Renagen's original patent on metformin has expired and there are generic versions of the medication freely available, prices remain high even for drugs produced by direct competitors for reasons that remain unclear. Renagen has maintained that metformin is sold, quote, at the proper market value, and has suggested that, quote, state-mandated quality control processes are to blame for the inflated costs that drug manufacturers are forced to pass on to consumers. Users also frequently searched for tingling sensation fingers, why, how to get health insurance, what does health insurance actually even do?
He'll need metformin for the rest of his life.
Then he really ought to choose the proper insurance plan, don't you think?
I don't get the impression that family member coverage is a benefit the Blue Bloods offer.
I suppose even the Mob Act has its limits. Yes, one could find the name of M. Icaria in relation to the Renagen board if they looked hard enough. So you think this Creek individual was going to threaten me? Come up to me on the street with a knife, a gun? He wouldn't get within 100 meters.
I don't doubt that. Now, the rest of this is speculation, but he might have just wanted to contact you.
That would have been even less likely to succeed.
So you truly don't care that his brother needs his medicine? Sosuke is like a brother to you. You've gone out of your way to try to help him even when you stand to gain nothing from it.
Yes, but I wouldn't expect my enemies to be impressed by the effort.
How'd you feel if they laughed at your effort?
My apologies, new android, still adapting to conversation.
You know what we sold back before Renagen? Before this facade of nobility, back when we were the Icaria cartel?
Opioids?
Yes, it was still illegal back then. But not for everyone. Take the exact same compounds, put them in an extended release pill, and sell it at the pharmacy. And that's just pain management. It's all the same poison. Equally addictive whether you get it from a dealer or a doctor.
Man, so glad this is fiction.
Have you ever seen someone go through opioid withdrawal? Like taking a wine opener to your stomach for 7 days straight, they testified. Pain like that eats people alive, slowly, and replaces them with something unrecognizable. A loving parent would steal from their own child if they thought it could buy them release from that kind of pain. Painkillers, what a joke.
Does Renagen produce painkillers?
No, we do not. People die if they don't get the medicine they need, and I'm sure their family mourns them. But addicts die a little more every day of their life until the day they finally fade out forever. And their family feels disgusted with themselves for breathing a sigh of relief. Plenty of kinds of evil in this world, little girl. Plenty to choose from. For real people like us, if you don't choose, the choice is made for you. Now wipe that look off your face and access the following address. renogen.main.financing.prescriptionfinancingoptions.outofpocket.apply.
You have that memorized? But this portal is.
Not listed or linked to anywhere on the site, I know, but it still works fine. By law, we have to have it, but we can't be blamed if the website is poorly designed. If you know any despondent crybaby college students looking for coupons to help pay for medication, they might want to start there.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. Don't. I can't stand it. Just save Sosuke's life.
I don't know how you pulled that off.
Didn't I? They do consistently refer to themselves as a house. Perhaps they simply value family more than you think.
It's something, all right. We gotta get a second detainment room, guys.
Yeah.
So, where should we begin?
What do you mean? I'm afraid I don't have anything new to tell you.
Stubborn about all the most frustrating things, was it? I am your lawyer, Sosuke. We're sworn to always do what's best for our clients, their rights, and their privacy. To an extent that many consider extreme, we are unable to disclose incriminating or otherwise problematic information that our clients give to us, no matter the circumstances. This whole system is designed to benefit the defendant. So it really upsets me when I find out that my clients are lying to me about vital information that could help me save their goddamn lives.
If you're troubled by the nature of my work as the Hound...
You're adopted.
Yes, from the Hayakawa...
That's bullshit. You know it, I know it, and people whose opinions you respect know it. Fine. All members of the military have extensive DNA samples on record. If I subpoena...
All right, stop. Just stop.
Does the military keep all of its members' DNA on record?
I don't know, probably, right?
Yes, I know what you are referring to. Even before I knew, I did wonder.
If you've known about your real family for more than a decade, why haven't you ever...
Because it doesn't matter.
Try telling that to the Blue Bloods. They've been risking a gang war for over a year trying to get you.
That's their choice. It has nothing to do with me.
How can you? I'm appalled, Sosuke. Got a brave soldier serving the House of Ikaria. Allow violence to continue when he knows he could stop it.
A worthy attempt, counselor.
Sorry. I'm not used to having to persuade people to act in their own best interest. Or that of their family.
Family? The Ikaria raised me, fed me, taught me how to read, write, walk. They gave me a home, a purpose.
They are using you.
They need me.
They've got a funny way of showing it.
I owe everything to them and nothing to the dead.
They're only dead because the man you called a father murdered them.
He did that a long time ago to people I've never met. You'll have to forgive me if I'm short on empathy for complete strangers.
Aunts, uncles, cousins, parents, siblings. You can't call them complete strangers, Sosuke.
Can't I? The Ikaria are my family. Nothing will change that. Nothing ever could.
Let's test that.
Pardon?
The state thinks you murdered a cop. They'll make sure no one ever thinks of following your example. Let me repeat that. The full brunt of the police state is about to fall directly onto the back of your neck. Hammer. Nail.
I'm not afraid of prison.
You ever been in one?
What? No,
They shave you.
What?
When you're convicted, they shave you. For hygiene. It's not for hygiene.
Are you talking about that virtual work release thing? Do they fit you for skull caps?
Not right away. They don't do that to people. Put a man in chains, strip him naked, sew his mouth shut. He'll still recognize himself in the mirror. He's still a person, but shave his head, give him a uniform, and make him sit in the dark with 500 others who've been treated the same. He starts to forget that he is a person. After you're so bored, you're seeing constellations in the concrete, and after you're scratching your skin raw just to feel something new, that is when they ask if you would like a job. After people stop being people.
How could you even know any of that?
VWRP.
We encountered an issue while processing your request. Hey there! Due to ongoing controversy following the suspected suicide of inmate Jay Gallet, search results for this term are temporarily blocked. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here.
I am a defense attorney, Sosuke. Who else gets to see inside of a prison and walk away afterwards? Makoto sent me himself, so you never actually took your one phone call, did you? Take my phone and call Hana Kim. The Blue Bloods will volunteer a fall guy to confess to these crimes, and you will walk free. After which, you'll become one of the richest men in the city overnight.
That's not...
If you are at all curious, I've done some calculations to the extent of your familial holdings. The number is quite remarkable. I suppose I haven't taken taxes into account.
No one is asking you to abandon the Ikaria. You could become their greatest ally. Together, your families would.
I know exactly what would happen if I made that deal. I won't do it.
And why the hell not?
Why not, Sosuke?
You're forgetting a few small details involved in this process. Namely, disowning the people who raised me my entire life, and claiming myself before the world as the son of people I've been fighting since I was a teenager. How shameless do you think I am? Daisuke, that man raised me like his own son, and in return, I can't throw away the name he gave me just for goddamn money.
Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Is that it? That's Sun Tzu, right?
I think so.
You would rather rot in prison as an Ikaria than
live in luxury as Blue Blood. Gladly. This is my answer, Morgan. If you try and use my parentage in the trial tomorrow, I'll dismiss you as my counsel and change my plea to guilty.
If that is your answer, then that's your answer. You're the client. What you say goes.
Right?
So if you somehow last another night without the cops smothering you in your sleep, we'll need some kind of strategy when we go into court tomorrow.
Of course we will. And what are your thoughts on the matter?
I might have found a window of opportunity. A chance that someone other than you had the means, motive, and opportunity to commit these crimes. Have you remembered anything else about your captivity?
Maybe, if we go over it again and I extrapolate somewhat, or a lot.
We'll need to be prepared. You're going to be called to the stand tomorrow.
All I need to do is keep silent, right?
You'd better not. I'll be the one asking the questions.
You're gonna call him to testify?
What do you expect me to say up there?
I want you to tell the truth, of course. I want to tell the court exactly how you were set free.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's fun.
Ooh. We got time for one more scene? I think we got time for one more. All right, you good taking another night shift? He is infuriating, but I'd rather he didn't get shanked at the moment.
Of course, Adonai. Detective London will be back shortly. I'll make sure Sosuke's monitored all night.
What is it? You can ask me to explain his decision? Because I'm done trying at this point.
I don't think his decision is that confusing. He wants to be loyal to the people who've shown loyalty to him.
Shown loyalty. Do you need a microscope to see it? Do you spot any members of the noble house of Icaria around here? Are they hiding under a box somewhere?
The people who've shown loyalty to him historically. His decision doesn't confuse me, but his choice of words. He considers the Icaria true family, yet he again spoke of a debt to them. That seemed odd to me. What do you think?
I don't know.
Did they really shave everyone in prison, or was that another bluff?
Not everyone, no. Only everyone who can't pay the fees. Oh, man, this game good. Well, I said one more scene, and that was one more short scene, so I guess that counts.
All right.
Well, I can't click. Okay. Here we go. I think we're done here for today. I'm gonna go rest my voice for a bit and, I don't know,
Sounds like a plan.
make dinner. Y'all have a good one now, okay?
Peace.
Bye.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.